we're live.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
I'm Andrea.
I'm Jasmine.
And we're Natural Be Ewe Yarns.
And we're coming live to you from inside the yarn shop.
Yes.
We used to call it the yarn vault, but we opened it up to the public. So our wall behind us is all of Natural Ewe yarns, naturally dyed merino.
Yep.
Gorgeous colorways. A lot of the ones on display right here are from our Boreal collection.
Which is quite special, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm making a blog post to explain why it's so special. But basically, I've been doing write-ups for each skein as we sort of post about them.
And so the information's on the website too, for each skein?
No, it's on our social media. I'm going to do a blog post that explains it and breaks it down a little bit, because that's just too much information to have under a picture of yarn that you can buy. Because you don't want to be distracted from buying
What's the main reason behind the Boreal collection?
I think it's to bring awareness to the impact of the Boreal collection on the world, its importance and significance, and sort of highlight how each aspect of it is integral to the survival of the whole.
Right.
And now
some people might not even know what the Boreal is.
Well, the Boreal forest is one of the world's largest biomes, and it spans across the globe, northern hemisphere. Canada, Alaska extends over to Russia and Asia, and northern European countries like Scandinavia and such. Yeah.
Okay, so all that is Boreal territory.
Home to bison and moose.
Spruce trees
and caribou, beautiful wildflowers, which are some of the inspiration behind the collection. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, I don't know why we started with this. I normally say this is Sunday Sip and Stitch.
Yes. I hope that you have something to sip and something to stitch.
Cheers.
Cheers. What are you sipping?
I'm sipping coffee. You know that. You made it for me. Cheers.
I've got tea. I actually have a cup of Sense and Sensibility tea.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I like her tea a lot. This one is a new one. It's called Beam Me Up Scott Tea. Which is,
she always has wonderful play on words and some very interesting blends.
Yeah.
So what's in that one?
It's an herbal tea with a variety of flowers, but also there is ginger, which is what I was like, ginger, yes.
Yeah. I have an aversion to ginger. We have very different opinions on this matter.
Yet she eats curry.
Well, that's different. That's very different.
It's not in tea.
No. And ginger is like a subtle hint in curry. It's not the whole freaking thing.
I like it.
All right. So while I bring up our planner, why don't you talk a little bit about what you have on your needles this Sunday?
And this is going to look a little odd because it just kind of goes on and on. But this is called Wrapped Up in Cables. And the pattern, I don't want to lose it off my needles, is it's got a leaf pattern in the center and then cables on either side. And the entire thing is actually a shrug of sorts. The beginning was a rib section, and that will be sewn together to be a sleeve, and then the rest of it is wrapped around you and goes back to the other side, and then there's going to be another sleeve.
It's called Wrapped Up in Cables, and because you didn't give me a chance, I don't have it on my iPad, but I'll open it in Ravelry and turn the computer around to get you guys to have a little look at some of the pictures of the finished object.
It's lovely, and I think that, in the summertime, it's sometimes quite helpful to have something to just slip on and over your shoulders.
That's the front view. And from behind?
Yeah, you can actually wear it around your back and then crisscross it in the front and put your arms in the sleeves. Or you can wear it backwards and or the other way around, and have the crisscross in the back and just one piece across the front. Depends on where you're colder,
I guess.
Or which look you prefer with your outfit.
Right. So what yarn are you using? Because that looks and the stitches are really well defined. Like it looks soft, but you can see the lace
it's
panels.
really rather nice. This is the llama. It's undyed yarn, but llamas come in various colors, so we have various colors of this yarn from a couple of different grays, cream, coffee color, and a little bit more caramely as well. So there's a nice variety, and knitting something like this is nice to wear, and then you've got something that goes with all your different colored sweaters and things.
Yeah, and I do believe that you chose the one called
Fawn.
Fawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is did you say the yarn type?
Llama.
Yeah, but the name of it.
I don't know.
I'll go to our website.
I don't know much. Here. It's so handy to sit in the vault.
Yeah.
It's called Llama Natural Worsted. And the other nice thing about it is that the cuff, the part that's going to be the sleeve, is knit with 5mm needles, and the body is actually knit with an 8mm needle.
Oh,
so it's coming along nice and quick. I was
going to say, that's got to be a fast knit.
Well, yeah, but it's long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to do 13 repeats of the...
And so the arms obviously have to be seamed together, you were saying.
Yes, I tried doing it in the round, but I really don't like magic glue.
But the pattern wasn't written to be done in the round, so it would have required...
Yeah, I was going to cheat.
Would have required some thinking. No?
It's rib.
Oh, I thought maybe the cables started on
No,
the sleeves. Okay,
no.
Okay.
It's
what
just
do
the
I
ribbing.
know?
Just the ribbing.
So, yeah, that's called the Llama Natural Worsted, and I think we have 6 different colors to choose from, but they're all natural undyed colors, and you went with, I believe, Fawn, which is just so gorgeous. 104.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why doesn't it? It
Because
says
it doesn't have the name on there.
it doesn't have the names, just the numbers on the actual bands.
I know.
It's a little bit. I don't like that. I like color names.
Me too.
We
it had it online when we were ordering it, but it
Right.
doesn't come on the bands. Yeah.
Right. I should maybe dye some of this.
Well, it would be nice to have some natural colors to complement the natural undyed tones.
Mm-hmm. And then we would have a worsted weight yarn.
Well, yeah. Let's see how we go. We do have DK and different fingering and lace weight. Our halo is lovely.
Yes.
Yeah. So when did you start that? Because I feel like we mentioned it our last Sip and Stitch. We were talking about this cable.
Probably 3 weeks, but I took part of it apart because I wasn't paying attention as usual.
Well, it's just like I started these socks when I was building the website, and sort of to keep my hands busy while you did the last knit along. You're wearing your finished object, by the way.
Yes.
That's the sprocket,
sweater.
It looks so good on you.
I like it. It's a really nice, comfortable fit. And even though I don't always like that necklines are larger when you have a larger size, I like this one because look at it goes perfect with the, like, it shows the, because I've layered it, it shows the neckline of the dress like kind of evenly.
It's really good for layering.
Yeah.
And you said that it's one of the most comfortable sweaters you've ever knit.
Yeah, and other people have been saying that too, eh?
Yeah. Who's making a second one? One of the ladies who...
Somebody's making a second one?
I think it was Lorraine.
Oh.
That makes sense to me. I think it was
It
her.
does.
We're not getting any comments yet. Are we having trouble with connection? If, as you join us, if you could just give us a wave or a shout out, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
If we're just talking to ourselves.
Yeah, that would be a little bit disappointing, wouldn't it?
If there wasn't, if I didn't catch a technical error.
It does say that we're live.
It does, but you never know. And thank you for joining us, those who are watching live and those who are watching afterwards. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. It means a lot to us. Really, it does.
It really does make a difference. And it would be nice if you subscribe to our channel as well.
Our YouTube channel.
Yes, because then things come up more often, right? It's just kind of like...
Well, once we get a certain number of YouTube subscribers, we can start going live from there. And I think it'll just be a little bit easier for
Probably,
everybody.
yeah.
But in the meantime, you can watch past episodes on our YouTube channel because the videos on Facebook expire after 30 days. And after our live video,
somebody's on.
I do show notes.
I think that's
so
10.
There will be, I'll read it in a minute. Calm your horses. I'm trying to say that I do show notes with the links to the patterns and events that we talk about because I don't always have time or remember to link them in the comments section. So, hello, Karen. My mom got very excited there. She recognized your name.
No, I can't read that. That's too tiny on the screen. But I recognized the profile picture.
So, as I was saying, I'm working on these socks that I started when you were on your last knit along, and you knit, 2 sweaters. Well, to be fair, you knit the first sweater while I was on another knit along.
Yeah.
But you did knit a whole sweater.
You did take those apart.
I've taken them apart 3 times now. And not just like your normal tinking back. I ripped. I frogged and frogged and frogged because as much as I like this sock pattern, as beautiful as I think it is, she did not get her maths right. And I'm not going to go into too much detail except to say that she didn't sort of take gauge into mind when giving the directions on how far to knit before starting the heel. It is a fleegle heel, so you're knitting toe up, and that means you're doing sort of like the heel flap backwards or the gusset backwards or whatever. So you have to increase and then do a decrease section. And she said in the pattern, make sure you measure your foot and start the heel increases when you have 1.5 inches less than what you want the desired foot. But after ripping it out so many times, I finally just did the math myself because I thought this is not working. And I had switched on to my 4th color and striped that through before I even got to the increases really, or the decreases. And I was like, what's happening? The math is that for the size I chose, I need 2.5 inches of heel. That's what it works out to if you increase to the size she says. So I ended up with like 11-inch socks before I even got to the heel turn.
I've made that mistake before.
But I made it 3 times. I was like, no, okay, I'll try again.
The problem with Jasmine frogging, what she's working on, is she's knitting 2 socks at a time, and they have fade sections. So she's got 4 strands of yarn and 2 needles, because 1 needle for the top of the socks, the 2nd needle for the bottom of the socks. It's a different technique for 2 at a time. And so she's got 4 strands of yarn and 2 needles and trying to
and the
yarn bar.
Color changes over 12 rows. So the whole thing is just like, I had to take the needles out both ends completely and then, wind as you go, but turning and weaving in and out of all the colors. And so it was a bit of a headache.
I finished one of my socks.
I know, I'm also jealous. So not only has she finished her sweater, or my sweater, and the shawl that I'm wearing, isn't it lovely? But she's also finished her socks.
Just one.
I don't know what's happening to me, but I'm apparently not knitting.
Well, they're just mini socks. They're little sport socks that you wear in your sneakers or your Birkenstocks, depending on who you are.
Aren't they cute?
Yeah.
You knit them for me, didn't you?
Well, yes, because I don't wear little tiny socks like this. I want those ones.
Yeah, I told you these were for you.
Yes.
And so you knit a pair for me.
And I'm using 3 minis to make a pair of socks. And so after the 1 mini is for the contrast heel, what do you call this? Cuff and toe. And then the other 2 minis are striped in. And I weighed the minis before and after. Our minis are 25 grams. And I still have, I think, 16 or 17 grams left of the main color.
That's incredible. You're going to get to make more socks for me.
I'll have scraps to do something with at the end when we all have to get rid of our scraps at the end of the Year of Adventurous Knitting. I'll still have little bits and bobs of all the colors, I think.
We have some great patterns in mind for that.
Yes.
Speaking of the Year of Adventurous Knitting, the reason why we've been hung up on socks and knitting them is to come up with some patterns for our Summer of Sock knit along that's going to start in July.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to run well through to August. We haven't picked the exact dates, but we want people to...
It's too hot in the summer to have something on your lap that's big and heavy.
And we want people to follow along at a leisurely pace. This is something you maybe take on the road trip or to the beach.
Yeah. If you have a little project bag, like one of these, then it's easy enough to put that in your beach bag.
And if you've never knit socks before, there's plenty of time for you to learn as we go with our helpful hints and suggestions, links to maybe YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
But if
and
you're
there
an
are some very simple socks, right?
If you're an avid sock knitter, then you'll be able to make more than one pair, and each finished object will be a ballot towards the draw. Sorry, you were saying there are some very simple sock patterns.
Yes, there are some simple sock patterns. Jasmine, you knit the speeder socks, remember?
Yes.
You have that.
Unfortunately, I moved everything to make room for our butts in these seats, so it's way on the other.
Oh, sorry.
But we'll list some sock options. I know that if you're looking to summer socks, and this isn't going to be on the knit along, but if you're wanting to make shorty socks like Mom before we even start the knit along, there is a set that I wanted to show. It's just not loading very nicely. I think they're called the Day Off socks.
Oh.
Here we go. There we are. Okay. Let me just get it.
I have another pair of socks that I'd like to have as an option in the knit along, so those will still be coming.
The Day Off socks are really cute. You can use a contrast color for the heel, as I do there, or you can knit it all in one tone, as you see here. And it's a free pattern, and I think it would look really, really good in our sock set of the month.
Ooh, yes.
You'd end up with, because 50 grams are enough to do a little sock out like that, as I call them, you'd end up with 2 socks, and you could use the different colors as contrast colors for the heel. If you're wondering how this knits up, I have a sample in a different yarn, mind you, but the same dye technique was used. And that is for the yoke of this pattern. What's this pattern called?
The Eyelet Pop Top.
The Eyelet Pop Top.
I knit one in merino DK that I like to wear. It's just plain, and that is a cotton version, because in the summertime it's nice to have a little pop top to wear over top of your sundresses as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or just, you've got tank top on and you're going in somewhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not one for knitting tops, another great thing to throw over a sundress, or like I'm wearing, or throw over yourself as you go into a store for shopping, is a shawl. And this one that you just finished is called the Happy Mood Shawl. There's a lot of texture in it, but you knit it up using 4 different 50-gram skeins. So it's nice and large, but there's a lot of different colors at play.
Mm-hmm. And I used most of the yarn.
I'm going to stand up.
I just stopped with the colors when I thought I was going to run out. So.
And there's there's the linen stitch there, the eyelet section, and there's this great texture in the green portion.
Oh, yeah, now you can see it.
Mm-hmm. And of course there's a I-cord cable edge, right?
I-cord bind off with little extra loops on it. And in between the 2 sections at the top.
Right. And I always run hot. So like right now, I'm a little overheated, so I opened a window and there's a draft. That's why I'm wearing a shawl. But you run cold, so
I'm wearing a sweater.
And we can't agree whether it's sweater weather or it's summer.
Well, the weather's been pretty wacky. We had a couple of days this week where it was like high 20s and in the 30s. It's just crazy. Yeah. And then the next day, the day before, it had been really chilly, so we were outside in jackets. So Jasmine got up, came out all dressed and ready to go outside to work in the garden in a jacket. And it was like, go back in and totally change your wardrobe, because it was definitely shorts and tank top weather.
I don't remember this incident you're talking about.
Yeah, we're going to go outside. either one or the other was reversed. It was like the next day wasn't hot and you were ready for hot weather. And
I think it was that, because I would never put on a jacket if there's even a chance I don't need it. I overheat like crazy. It was probably that I was dressed too coolly and you were like, no, bundle up.
And today it's chillier. Like,
no, it's not. I'm sitting comfortable. I actually had on, and this is really bad, I'm going to show it off. I haven't blocked it yet. I had been wearing my harvest cardigan while I was setting up for our live. And I'm going to put it on because I think it looks so nice with my dress.
Watch my tea and your coffee.
Yeah, and all of my ends that I haven't sewn in yet. I haven't blocked it. I haven't weaved in the ends. And even if I have, I haven't trimmed them. So they're still hanging even though they're woven in. But look at that.
That's nice, eh?
So sweet.
And you knit that with the...
And it's nice and long. Like, I love a good long cardigan. The only thing it's missing are pockets. And that wouldn't be too hard to add, but I won't, because I don't get around to anything. But
and that's with the Shetland wool.
Yes, which when working with it, it's one of the rougher wools we have in the store. But
it's
it
really
still
not.
feels really nice. And you know, like, if you are sensitive, like I have very sensitive skin, you don't like rough wool against your skin. A lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah.
But I'm not bothered by this at all. It's very
well, I've
comfortable.
done a sweater. I knit the Magnolia Chunky cardigan with a rougher wool like this, held with a strand of our mohair.
Oh, the wool you used was much rougher than this.
Yes, but still, you could do that with this too. That's what
You could, yes.
Yeah, and that would actually be lovely.
It would. It really would. And if you don't want to change the color too much, I think you'd go with something subtle and light, like on your other side, we called one icing, and the other is salted caramel. Over your right shoulder?
What are you
mohair.
talking? Yes, okay. Well, hold on.
I think they're gorgeous, and they look really nice.
Let me
They'll
have a
double. Not that many people are thinking
Oh,
about
these
sweaters
ones.
this summer, but you never know. Get it started now, and then you'll have it.
We don't have a whole lot of these colors left, do we?
No, you're going to have to dye some.
Okay.
I think we have enough left for, like, sweater quantity of the white, and I think 3 of the salted caramel.
Well, then that would probably be enough for some people as well.
Yeah, and it would just give it a little halo.
I would put it with this.
I would too. Yeah. I would actually, the one you're working with, Fawn, we could go with that as well.
Oh, yeah, look.
And that, you're working with the Llama Merino blend, so it's already softer than the Shetland. So
it would be a dream.
Whether you hold it with mohair or not, it would be a dream to make a cardigan out of that.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, I've been ignoring the comments, which there aren't too many. So if you have any questions, don't feel like you can't drop a comment. Sandy says the colors you are using are great. Oh, the ones I'm using here. Yeah, I should show off my socks. I'm working my way back across increase row. I'm only increasing on the heel, obviously. That's the Fleegle heel. And the color transition is subtle over 12 rows. So after I do my decreases for the heel, I will transition into my final color. Let me just grab it out of the bin for you. This one here. So the top of my socks are going to be blue, but this blue has hints of sort of teal in there and white. So it's going to be a really subtle transition, but I'm looking forward to this gradient.
What's the fourth color?
What did we name it? Can't remember.
No, I mean, is that it?
That's it.
Oh, 2 yellows.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what was the third one then?
The one I have working with.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I held it up separate because it's a separate color. Now you're making me rummage in my kit for it. They're 2 different colors.
Oh, and I thought the yellow that was coming through now was still from the last color.
No, I did the color change.
Oh, so that transition's really nice.
I chose a gradient in our mini skein set. Some are just like standalone pops of color, and others gradiate. Some more than others, like,
Well,
for instance, this set. I'll see if I can find it here in front of me.
Sometimes it's nice to have.
Australia.
Oh, that's...
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are the colors I chose. And it's like a warm but light buttery yellow to a golden yellow. Transitions, there's blue and yellow in here. And then the last one, whose name I cannot see. I think we called it sea glass. Because it has hints of like the green tones that you find in sea glass at the beach. Yeah. Anyway, I'm loving it. And definitely, now that I know where the pattern led me astray and how to fix it, I think...
well, that's the whole reason for us knitting it prior to the
knitting. I mean, that way, and I can even reach out to the designer if I want to, but I would feel a bit silly about that. Does that make sense? Self-conscious about that?
Well, I don't think that... I think designers would rather have you check in with them than not be happy.
You're right. You're right. I should just reach out to the designer.
It's just like if someone's not happy with our yarn for whatever reason,
everything and just
we need to talk. Right? Like if somebody doesn't like our yarn for whatever reason or one of our patterns, we want to hear about it, right?
Yes. Well, within reason. If it's something we can fix, great.
Right. Or, well, sometimes with natural dyes, like especially the indigo, people just don't realize what natural indigo might be like. But
it crocks a little bit because not all of the molecules are small enough to be absorbed into the yarn, so they sit on the fiber. It won't affect
other clothing.
Right, but when the friction from your needles works through the indigo, some of the particles pop off. Is the best way to describe that.
And you'll end up with some blue on your hands, which washes off immediately.
And it doesn't actually affect the color of the yarn because the color is not coming out of the yarn. It was not absorbed. And the reason it didn't wash off in all of our rinsing is because indigo is not water soluble. And that's why it won't stain your other clothes.
Yeah, it's dyed in a what is called a vat because and I do it with natural things like fructose, but the combination of things in the vat drive all the air out of it. And so when you dip your item into the indigo vat, you need to leave it for a little while, and when it comes out, it's actually a yellowy green color, and as the air gets at it, it becomes bluer and bluer. It's really fascinating to watch.
It is really cool.
Mm-hmm. So it is one of those interesting things why I like working with natural dyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the depth of color that we get, like the darker tones, takes a lot more dye stuff. People don't realize with acid dyes or the dyes that other indie dyers are using, chemical-based, they sort of lay it on the yarn and the yarn absorbs it. And they're not left with any excess dye afterwards. And
afterwards it's clear. The liquid that it's in is clear. All the color is absorbed.
Natural dyes aren't like that. You have to brew it like tea. And each time you remove the yarn, the water is
lighter,
right? You have subsequent dye baths, but yeah, it's very different. It's a whole different process.
Well, it's kind of like how my sweater is a very dark color, but there's a light pink in the yoke, which is actually from a second dye bath. So I'll dye the yarn a deep shade, and then the next batch of yarn that goes in ends up being a coordinating color in a lighter shade. It's really rather cool.
We could talk natural dyes all day long.
Yeah.
And but before we pop off on that, I'm going to talk about some of the comments. Karen says, speaking of soft yarn, the Bloomshin and Mohair silk blend I'm knitting with is literally the softest yarn I've ever used. Mm-hmm. And it's like knitting a pink cloud.
Yeah, we saw that the other night at Knit Night.
Oh my gosh, what a great knit night. Thank you to all who came out.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I don't even know I didn't get a chance to talk to everybody because there was various different conversations happening, which is really nice.
That the crowd is growing, that people are inviting friends, that new knitters or people who don't hardly knit are feeling like they can come out as well. Yeah. They don't feel intimidated.
A couple people, somebody learning how to knit, someone else that's like growing in her knitting knowledge, and people just trying different things and, you know, sharing ideas and stuff. We like to have show and tell. But sometimes we just get talking.
Yeah. And a couple people from away have popped in as well, so that's nice.
Yes. There are quite a few displaced people in Nova Scotia right now because of the wildfires. And so
I've been posting a couple updates here and there on our Facebook page as news comes in, because the rainy weather has helped, but wildfires are still raging across the province.
I think there's still 3 that are not yet contained.
Shelburne, Yarmouth area, and Hammond Plains, I believe.
Right. But the one that was a little bit closer than that to Halifax, that one's 100% contained now, and several other ones that are still burning. So they're looking for hot spots, and that means sometimes I think that they have to dig down to be able to extinguish.
So hundreds of people have lost, or hundreds of homes have been lost. I think they're saying there's something like 20,000 people were evacuated, and they're not able to go back just yet.
Right.
So we decided that not just to post about it, but to help do something about it. For the entire month of June, we are committing to raising money through fundraising, donating 10% of all yarn sales towards the Red Cross. And right now, the government is matching donations that are being placed to the Red Cross. So if you want to...
Yeah, dollar for dollar, the Canadian federal government is doing that. So that's a really good way to ensure that there's money going to because all the shelters that are set up and the food and things like that.
And they've brought in firefighters and what are those, water planes from different
I think
provinces, from Newfoundland and New Brunswick.
Yeah, and I think that there's supposed to be some fire crews coming from the States.
Yeah, but New Hampshire.
I think, the issue with all of that is that there seem to be fires in a lot of places. So, quite suddenly the help could not be available if they have to deal with fires in their own backyard. So,
right.
Yeah, it's just really, really, there's a lot of open territory in Nova Scotia, and the one wildfire just happened to be right outside the suburbs of Halifax, and so...
And there's a fire ban now for the entire province because people, it's caused by human error, or I don't want to say deliberate arson, but...
No, but sometimes it's neglect. Like, people don't realize how dry things are, and they, campfires have sparks. If you're going for a walk and flick your cigarette.
Or flick it out of the car. A lot of people do that, too.
Yeah.
So they're now saying that anyone caught... burning anything, it's going to now, instead of being a fine, or what is it, not a misdemeanor, but like
But it's a significant fine now. It's $25,000.
Yeah, no, it's a criminal offense now. They're calling it arson, and the charge
I didn't
is $25,000.
Wow. And the other thing that is happening is that people are supposed to stay out of the woods. So there's no camping or hiking on the wooded trails. There's lots of beautiful beaches that you can hike here, but they're asking people to stay out of the woods, and I think that's twofold. First of all, they don't want somebody to accidentally cause a fire, but if there is a fire, you wouldn't want to be trapped in the woods.
And the winds change so quickly sometimes with fires.
Yeah, so it's really for the safety of everyone concerned. And
hello, Lynn. Sorry.
Sometimes people don't understand that, right? They think, what's my right to go in the woods? We're trying to save you.
Hi, Lynn. Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
We're just catching up on what's on our needles and some local news here.
Yeah. Let's go back to knitting.
Yes. So I don't keep meaning to knit, but like I find getting it very soothing. I wanted to show off some other things, like the pattern I finally decided on for my summer knit and the yarn I chose. But here I am starting another row, so I guess you're gonna have to take it away.
I don't have anything. I've got another sock to knit, and I've shown you that pattern. The pattern that I'm using for that, we're going to announce all the different patterns available for the knit along starting in July at one time, which is a good thing. I don't remember the name of the pattern, but it is got three patterns, variations in the pattern. So for the shorty socks, then there's the ones that Jasmine is doing, and there's another pair that I'm hoping to get at least the first one knit of.
And we got a lot of speculation that using 3 or 4 minis for knitting socks wouldn't work. So
and I think it will, because
it most definitely will. We're here to prove you wrong.
I've never used an entire 100-gram skein for a pair of socks, and I like high socks. So, and I always have known that even a 20-gram mini is usually enough to do the heels, toes, and cuff on a regular pair of socks. So now that we're using our minis that are 25 grams, using 3 of them to knit a pair of shorty socks should be more than enough, because approximately 75 grams of yarn will get me a full-size sock.
And you just showed off how much of the main
do you
mini,
want me to show it again?
The main mini you had left. Yeah, it's incredible. You're going to be able to make tons of socks with the patterns that we recommend through our knit along.
So I've got this sock. My needles are in it. These are the 3 minis that I used. So the green and the pink is for the main part of the sock, and the gray was for the cuff, heels, and toe. Put those down so I don't have them all over the place. Take my needles out. And the first one is done. It's really cute. It's got a regular heel flap and gusset construction, and I've got more than enough for the second sock left. So it's a win-win.
It is. And if you like knitting, I'm putting my work down. If you like knitting,
I like knitting
summer socks. I showed off the day off socks a little while ago for those just tuning in now. But there's another pattern that came up that I'm going to pull up now. Give me a moment, while Ravelry loads. And I think that, do I not have access to it? Did I not open it? Oh, silly me.
She's got 3
I've got multiple tabs open, multiple devices, and well, I'll come back to it.
In the meantime, can we show off the hat that I just saw behind me?
Sure. Well, since we're talking about socks and 50-gram sets, can I?
Yes.
Can I talk about
There's so much to tell you.
So, we do have kits made up for the Happy Mood shawl, which I'm wearing. But I'm just pulling this out because any of these 50-gram skeins would make those summer socks that we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So, I know, for example, I have some behind me. One of our newest colorways in the Boreal collection.
I love that one.
Is the Beaver Meadow Trail, which would make a lovely pair of sockettes. And the one behind you, down, yeah. There, oh,
this one?
Yeah.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
Is a huge favorite. We had to make a second dye lot of it. It's called Wild Violet, and it's made with indigo and purple. I think they'd make lovely socks too.
Yeah.
So, so in case you want to do a shawl or you want to do some socks this summer, our 50-gram skeins are the way to go, and they do have the recycled nylon content in them. Let's see if I can't find that pattern.
Which pattern?
Very good. Rising Dawn Socks, I think is what it was called. No. There was... No, not even close, guys. Not even a little bit. I don't know. Now I feel so bad. There was this really cute pair of socks that I found.
And tell us about them while you're looking.
Well, they were miniature socks, and they sort of had a rolled cuff, and it was a free pattern. And I do believe that she did them in rainbow colors.
Bay City Rollers?
No.
No.
It was like on a new sock pattern that came out. Anyway, my I don't know what to say about this. My iPad is very slow. It's ancient, and so I'm not pulling up anything worthwhile.
You're on your third computer since you got that iPad, no?
Yeah.
That was way back.
It was way back. So I don't think I'm going to come across them at all, and that's a bit disappointing.
Yeah, because now I want to know.
Yes, me too. I'm like, oh, here they are. It's under hot right now, guys. My bad.
Oh, those are lovely.
Yes. I thought the rainbow colors is wonderful for Pride. It's International Pride Month. Happy Pride. And we can talk a little bit about what we're going to do for that. But while we were on the subject of socks, I thought, aren't those adorable, that rainbow of colors? And we were talking minis. And so I was thinking you could probably use a mini set to get the different colors. And they're not identical. It's like she just carried on where she left off. And it's a free pattern right now, which is why it's hot right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just stripes. Basically.
She's basically just striping in different color. Unless it's a self-striping yarn. She doesn't actually say. But she does say that it's a sneaker pattern. And it features a gentle ballerina style where the cuff sits slightly deeper at the front. And for those of you like me who don't like your socks to come up too high, it's perfect.
What do you mean? Oh, it doesn't come up as high on the foot.
Yeah.
In the front.
The instep, yeah.
Oh, so if you're wearing a pair of socks but you don't want your socks to show at all,
or you have
they'd be perfect.
You have slip-on sneakers like I can't think of a brand right now, but like my little Adidas even, and you
don't want the sock to stick out
because the shoe doesn't come that high up. Then they're perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, those are different.
Anyway. And we mentioned Pride because the rainbow of color. So I guess we should mention that it's that time of year again.
Yes. This is the third year that I will be dyeing a colorway that we call Everything is Love. It is got all the colors of the rainbow and all the different skeins, but they're all totally different from one another.
Everyone is unique.
Yeah.
Like people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've started the first batch. Last year I dyed subsequent batches, but this year I'm going to try to keep it all together so that I can make larger batches of dye to use on subsequent sock skeins. Anyway, I've started the process and we will be taking pre-orders for these as well.
Yes, because there's limited quantity for a limited time. It's a special edition yarn that we only bring out once a year.
Right.
And it's usually snapped up pretty quickly. So
Jasmine, you put out a post about it, or no? You sent it out. No,
that's coming out tomorrow, but I sent it out in the newsletter because people who sign up for our newsletter get a little bit of insider information first. Right?
There you go.
So you can pre-order that, and it will be dyed to custom dye order.
Well, and as we have the batches for the orders, we will be shipping them out. We won't make you wait until the 28th. But the 28th is the last day that you can order them if we haven't got any.
No, 27th is the last day to pre-order them for the 28th.
Okay.
That's how I have it set up online.
Okay.
Yeah. But of course, for people who aren't picking up, they'll ship out as they're ready. Yeah. We've also put out a couple feelers to yarn stores in different parts of Canada who might like to carry some of our yarns, and we've mentioned the Everything is Love as well. So you might be able to find them at a yarn store near you, but that's still in the works.
Right.
I'm sorry, Sandy. I just saw your comment now. I'm glad you found it. They're called the Sneaker Socks, I believe. Sneaker Sock Melanie. Yeah. I don't know why. Her name must have been Melanie. And
I bet you it still is.
I meant her friend's name.
Oh.
Her name is Stephanie.
Oh, okay.
So Lynn does want to know about the hat behind you that we haven't yet talked about.
We first encountered this lady when we went to Woolstock East for the first time, and she makes felted hats.
Well, you're not the only one with one.
No, and I actually have a felted hat from way back in 2021.
I think I got the small. Mine's a bit
One's
snug.
medium and one's large. So
then I have a large head because this definitely feels quite small.
Well, here, try this one.
You try this one.
I like this. Anyway, so yes, this is smaller. I like it better because I like to roll it down when it's really cold over my ears like that, and the rest of the time
it's so stylish.
Yeah, they're pretty cool hats. Anyway, these were now knit with our 100% merino undyed, and Jasmine's is the knit with the Shetland wool. So that one is a little bit, they're so soft and pliable.
I know you're trying to say that this one's a little rougher, but it's actually the softest thing to touch my head.
Yeah.
In a little while.
Normally these are knit with the Canadian yarn, the Briggs and Little type yarn, and so the hats aren't as pliable or as soft, and we can get these custom made now.
They retain their shape. Yeah, so if there's a color in our llama or Shetland or even merino DK that you would like, we can have a felted hat made custom for you.
Yes.
Or you could just buy the yarn and experiment yourself.
Well, there are felted hat patterns that I'll be talking about in the fall, but in the meantime, if you don't trust yourself to felt an item yet, or you really like these, they're available.
I dropped stitches.
Don't talk to Jasmine. She's dropped stitches. You know what that's like. The poor thing. So, that was pretty exciting when she came in to do that. And we do have, we love to work with other local craftspeople and artisans. We have yarn bowls now made by a local potter. We still have a few sets of, or maybe just one of the sea glass stitch markers.
Yes, we're going to need to get in touch with her to make some more. Everybody loved them so much.
I know, they're really nice. And she also makes things from old china that she then grinds down and smooths. And she calls those stitch markers my grandmother's china. And they're really, really pretty. There's still a couple of sets of gift sets left from Mother's Day for the Born Trippy shawl. So those gift sets had some my grandmother's china stitch markers in them. We also have things from Atlantic Pewter. And what am I missing?
I don't know what I've done here, but I've messed it up real good.
Oh,
I've picked them up wrong, and I've picked them up on the wrong side. Put them on the wrong needle. I'm all over the place. And it's just a pair of socks.
And you still have to tell us about what you want to knit next.
I know. Well, I had planned to have it already on the needles and to be able to brag a little bit about how I've got multiple projects and things are coming along well, and it's all a lie. So
Jasmine has multiple projects. They just don't all involve knitting.
That's so true. I have multiple stories that I'm working on at the moment and other things. So spent all day working on our social media, but the fun part, the knitting, I'm going to start the tulip top. So,
a different tulip top than we had before. Right. This is a tank top.
It is, and
it's really pretty.
It's knit, or recommended to knit it in a cotton wool blend.
Look at that, that's the yoke.
I'm pulling up pictures now.
Yeah, okay.
It's not just the yoke, it's the back, actually.
Oh, it goes right down the back. Okay, you show your picture.
She's showing you the lacework panel that runs along.
Can you make it big?
Yeah. Well, I can't make it big, but I can zoom in a bit. That runs along the shoulder straps and then down the spine and the back. And the front looks like, let me get here, like a V-neck t-shirt, but it has the option of sleeves or making it a tank. And if you do the sleeves, there is instructions on how to create, I think that's just a little bit of I-cord between the two shoulder panels.
Oh, to keep it from falling off your shoulders.
Yes, and if you opt to do the tank, it's a wide enough strap that for a girl like me, who has a little bit wider bra straps, it covers it.
Nice. And you could probably wear it backwards and have the eyelet pattern in the front.
You could, except, I mean, then it has the very open looking leaves, the leaf motif for the tulips. So it would be kind of
Very
see-through.
sheer.
It'd be sheer down your front. So, but yeah, you have the option, and that is just one more view of it.
Beautiful.
I decided that I was going to use our linen instead, and I think it works out. I'll need exactly 3 skeins of our linen blend, and I chose this colorway called Dusty Rose. I don't know if you can see the sheen on that from there, but
It's beautiful. It's got a nice little shine to it. It's 100% linen in a fingering weight, but it seems very, very fine. I think that linen blooms more and more over time, and so we tried washing it to see if it would bloom, and I think it did.
This tiny little skein, it did.
It's a bit thicker.
And it just softens up once you wash it, so it'll be nicer to work with. Linen at first feels a bit rough on your hands, though it's anything but.
After a couple of washes, it's beautifully drapey.
The reason this isn't skeined and I haven't cast on is because it's still drying a little bit. We used our soak in the Pineapple Grove, which smells
does it smell?
delicious. Yeah, it does. You want to sniff?
Yes.
Careful.
It's just 2 ends.
Okay. Well, it looked like it was getting tangled. I'm sorry.
It does. It smells really pretty.
There's a hint of floral to the Pineapple Grove, almost like lilies or something. It's just one of our new
Very
soak
pleasant.
sets, and it's very,
yes,
very
we
nice.
carry Soak now, which is a Canadian company that makes similar to Eucalyptus, which we used to carry. Yeah, it's a pH balanced wool wash, and you just soak your items, squeeze the water through. No need to rinse.
It's wonderful, and it's good for your delicates too. So yes, your hand knits and your lacy pieces, but also like brassieres and things like that, swimwear even. Yeah, it's just really versatile. And there is a scentless, fragrance-free option for those who are a little more sensitive to that.
Yes, we have testers.
The reason I couldn't, but unless you come into unless you come into the store, you can't smell them.
Right. We have them online.
We do.
Do we have the sample pack? The little
travel size packs are $2, and they're good for one soak.
Yeah. So if you wanted to give it a shot the next time you order yarn,
or if you're going away somewhere traveling,
it's a good way to take soap, and you can wash everything in it, right? So
the reason that I couldn't decide, I haven't started knitting my tulip top, is because I couldn't decide on these colors, and shades of peach and corally rose tones really suit my skin tone because I'm pale. So
I think you chose well. It's sort of like
it's
a compromise,
blend of
that
the
one.
2 really. And the other 2 that I'm leaving enough for you to knit with are one is called Light Matter, a madder root, and done. I think that must be a 2nd or 3rd dye bath.
Yep.
And this one is called Desert Dusk, which is a light black. And I'm working with a combination of black and madder.
Right.
So, yeah. Which is kind of a combination of the 2, actually, which is exactly what you said. This is madder, this is lac, this is a combination of the 2. I know my colors.
Yeah. Kind of like when we dye sangria, there's a combination of the 2.
Yes.
Ours comes out a little different. But
right,
it's not, linen isn't usually a creamy color when you start dyeing with it. It's got a bit of a color to it, so.
I made a mess of my skein now.
Okay, don't touch it. Let go. I know what I'm doing.
It's started to twist
I
on
wanted
itself.
to see if it was dry where the knots were, and I thought I'd snip one of the little pieces of yarn at the knot, and it happened to be the one that holds this was the ends. So you flicking it around.
I know, but I just got so excited about it.
Yeah, well, you can be excited about taking the knots out if that happens.
Well, I didn't say I wouldn't. You were the one who wanted to grab it.
Yeah, I'm saving it.
Thank you. She's saving my yarn from me.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Bye, Sandy. Sandy has to run, but it's been lovely.
Sandy.
I'm glad you were able to catch up. And my Oma, Irene, says hello, and she's sending sunny greetings from Ontario.
Thank you. Well, we're very happy to have rain.
We are.
It's not raining today. It's very, very overcast and chilly. There isn't that much wind. So hopefully the rain that it looks like we should be getting is actually over where the fires are. It changes all the time, so it's hard to keep up with what's actually happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Though there are a lot of news channels that are doing a good job of keeping things relevant.
Yes.
And up to date.
Trying to figure out where I am.
That's fine.
I'm
just sorry, me too. I dropped the stitches and I was trying to write them and not paying any attention whatsoever.
And I'm following a chart and talking to you, so.
Oh, well, some of the comments, Lainey says, I swore I would never have multiple projects, but I do.
Yeah.
That was me. There's a hat tucked away somewhere in the naughty corner, and it's been on timeout since before Christmas. I actually don't think I like the way the yarn is knitting up with that pattern, so I'm going to rip it all out and come up with something else. Maybe a beanie and cowl set or beanie and mitt set that is going to be lovely.
Okay.
But yeah, in time for Christmas. And then I want to cast on this top. So what all do you have in your on Whip Mountain, Janie and fellow viewers? What's on your needles or on your to-do list?
I want to knit something with the hand-painted DK that we have, the pure wool.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'd like to try felting, but I'm already looking at the fall for when I'd like to be able to show people what can be done with it. So I'm going to start in between my projects that I have on the go. There's this one wrapped in cables. There's the various socks.
I'm jealous. That's such a nice project to have.
And then I'm going to start making the odd item that is actually a felted project.
I get sort of swamped with the other aspects of things, so I don't get to knit as much. But I'm a slower knitter to begin with, so there is that.
Jasmine's spent an awful lot of time for the last several months just working on cataloging all of our products and each color, taking pictures, setting it up for our new website, which I hope that you all like, and it coordinates with our point of sale system here in the shop, which we're both getting used to.
Something that you really liked about the new website, I'm going to pop it in there while you mention it.
Yep.
If you go on our website from your phone, granted that you don't have any pop-up blockers, a pop-up message comes up along the bottom of the screen that says that you can download the app to your home screen. And it's just a widget with our logo that if you tap, opens to our online store. So it's like we have an app.
We have an app.
It's not an app, but it's like we have an app, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then the other thing is, of course, you're watching us right now live on Facebook, but if you miss this, you will be watching us later on our YouTube channel, which is another neat thing that Jasmine's worked on.
Yeah, we've sort of started to beef that up and get that going. So we have multiple podcasts and playlists on there, including some shorts, which are just reels and other Window Shop Wednesday specials.
And sometimes they're tutorial videos from when we were going through a knit along, and Jasmine filmed me showing how to do a technique that was required for the pattern. So we'll have things like that. And then the shorts are fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so because sometimes it's become more and more necessary for Jasmine to do videos for Instagram in order for it to come up in the algorithm.
We have a large following. Well, not massive, but I'm quite proud of our following on Instagram, and yet we get maybe 20 likes on a picture. So the algorithm has changed again and doesn't like us. And
can't figure it out.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you're meant to figure it out, but yeah, so if you could, if you follow us on Instagram and you aren't seeing our content, go to our profile and up in the top right corner, click on the 3 dots, and I believe that there is a notification, like a little bell, to make sure that you're following us and get updates when things are posted. And that's how you're going to know about special events and sales, like the special event that is coming up.
Worldwide Knitting Public Day is next Saturday, and I'm going to be down at the Pictou waterfront. We can all meet here at the shop if you don't want to go down there and show up and maybe not have anybody there. More than happy to travel with people here from the shop.
You're going to need things like a chair, a hat, water. It needs to be comfortable in outdoor weather conditions.
Yes, if it's raining, I think we will probably, I'm going to contact them, and they shouldn't have a problem with the fact that we may go over to the Waterview restaurant and knit indoors if it's raining.
Yeah.
So there isn't a plan B.
And the exciting thing about the day is that there's going to be activities and games with prizes to be won.
Yes. So I worked on getting some games together this morning, and we will be also needing you to bring scrap yarn. I'll have extra scrap yarn, but bring an extra pair of needles so that you can join in 1 or 2 of the activities that require a little bit of knitting. Shall we talk about the chair and the bicycle thing?
Chair and the bicycle thing? What's the chair?
With yarn?
What's the chair?
Well, I also have a chair.
Oh, no. We'll just focus on the bicycle this year.
All right.
We have a bicycle in our garden that we've spray painted red. It is a bit of
a whimsical addition to the yard, and we actually have it in front of the garage at the other end of the building. And it is spray painted red, has a basket with a geranium in it on the handlebars, and we are going to yarn bomb that with the help of people that are interested in doing something like that. Right. So if you've got gauge swatches or spare yarn that you just want to feel like knitting up because you can't decide what you want to make, then we'd be more than happy to have you help us yarn bomb the bike.
And one of the competitions will be to see who can, in a certain amount of time, knit the longest
little scarfette.
Yeah, little scarfette that will wind around either the spools or the handlebars or the frame of the bike.
Yeah, so if you're coming to knit Worldwide Knitting Public Day, you will be able to join in a game with your scrap yarn, and you can also help us yarn bomb the bike.
And fingers crossed, it's lovely warm weather, because I also bought a piñata.
Oh yeah, I forgot. There's a prize in the piñata as well. So well,
there's a prize for everyone because there's candy, but there's a special token that we're not going to talk about just yet, and it leads to an even greater prize.
So multiple things happening. So
people are commenting what's on their needles. Thank you. I hope I've given you all enough time to write that down. Lynn says that she's working on the filigree top. She's just started. All right, so what else is in that mountainous pile of yours then? And is that for, I could look up the pattern, is that for this summer, or are you hoping to have it done in time for the fall? And Karen says that she just linked Keep It Warm sweater pattern, which we saw the other night. I believe she's using Bloomshin and the ballerina mohair to make this beautiful
It's going to be
pullover
gorgeous, yeah.
with just the most exquisite
because it's got
cabling and
it's beautiful and
sort of lace motifs down the front. It is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to turn it around and let you see that, guys, because it's not fair that I just get to talk about it and you have no idea.
And the sleeves look like they're bell sleeves too.
Okay, I'll move my thing. There we go. Is that not just sweet? I think they poof a little bit, but I don't know if I can, yeah, here's a picture of the sleeve, a better one. They just not fitted. I don't think that they're bell so much as they just sort of have a nice drape to them.
Beautiful.
A flare almost.
Don't eat pasta in that sweater.
I have a couple of shirts that flare, and I swear yesterday I got it in my food. So
it's a beautiful sweater. It's not a going out for dinner one though.
You can't eat pasta in that sweater.
I hope she's laughing.
Karen says, yay, she's bringing her daughter to the waterfront activities.
She'll love it.
She'll love the piñata.
Yep.
And then Lynn says that she's hoping to get that top done in time for summer. She has another Yumi for her cousin in Alabama. Ooh, wow, your cousin's very lucky that you're knitting for them.
Yeah.
And she says she's busy knitting through her stash. It's getting smaller. Ooh, time to buy more.
If you're getting low on stuff and you're going to color coordinate some things, we're always here to help with topping up what you already have if you're going to knit something that's multiple colors.
Right.
We love helping people choose color.
And if you need a suggestion for One Skein Wonder shawls, what was that one that we had the other day? We've put it away now. It was the Wild Berry Shawl. Wild Berry Shawl.
By Michelle Meadows of Scotia Connection.
And I think it would look amazing in our pollinators picnic. But let me try and bring up the Wildflower Shawl. Just going to look it up, see what happens. Apparently nothing. I don't know why, I just didn't take my search.
That's a motorcycle.
Yeah, okay. Wild. Is it one word, do you think? Wildflower Shawl?
No, Wild
Berry. This is hurting me a bit.
Nope.
Neither one of them is right. I can go get it out of the closet, but...
Why don't you?
Yeah.
I don't have my phone or anything up here. I didn't want to be distracted that way. I am starting a cable row with this wrapped up in cables pattern, and I don't know what kind of cable needle you're used to using. I used to hate doing cables because those aluminum ones that you buy with the V in them, they tend to just slide right out of whatever you're knitting because they're smaller than the yarn needs. And so I have been using these, and if I hold it end to end, you see how the middle is actually narrower than the ends, and it's bamboo. So the set comes with multiple sizes for whatever you happen to be knitting with, yarn wise, and they're lovely for cabling. Makes a difference in whether or not you're going to enjoy the knit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy that cable needle.
Yeah.
I've used it before. And the pack that we have, it has 3, right?
Yes.
Of different sizes. All right, I found the shawl. Guys, it took me a minute. Wild Berry Shawl, but it's not coming up. Maybe she's taken it off of Ravelry.
Maybe it's 2 words.
Okay, I'm going to try the 2-word thing, guys. Wild Berry Shawl. There we go. Okay, Wild Berries, 2 separate words by Michelle C. Meadows. And which way is... That's the right side.
You can tell by the
Yep, that's the right
border.
side. I don't need to tell. I can already tell. So that's the shawl, and it has this lovely lace edge.
Yep.
With these, what are those points called? Not picot, but they're.
It's got a scallop type edge. No, scallops are rounded. This is actually comes right into points.
Right. She wrote the word bauble or popcorn, which that would be along the top edge here.
Yes.
These little baubles. Anyway, it's very, very beautiful, and it does look good in some of that hand-dyed yarn, you know, with the variation.
Well, this
in tones.
is a long time ago dyed yarn by us.
I know, and that's why I'm pointing it out, because it was to help Janie, with busting her stash. And I'm like, okay, well, we've got some one skein wonders, and this is one of them.
And the closest color we've got to this now is, like you said, Pollinator's Picnic.
Yeah.
Which is behind you.
Get it up here. Pollinator's Picnic.
Which
mm-hmm.
is a bit brighter.
A little bit brighter, yeah.
And it has some pink in it as well.
Yeah. So I think it was Karen wrote, time to shop at Natural Ewe. That's right, Karen. and if you're shopping online, we've got our loyalty program set up with the website now too. It asks you right at checkout if you want to be part of our loyalty program. It costs nothing for you. And, you know, over time, every visit, if you spend $50 or more, you get a sheep, and 5 sheep leads to 10% off.
Yes, it is lambing season, you know. So you can become a shepherdess. Every time you shop with us, you'll get a lamb, and then you can bring the flock home when you have 5 and get a 10% discount. If you really, really want to hang on to your sheep for a little while longer, and when you come back with 10, you can get 20% discount.
What a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I also want to show off this shawl. It's a one skein wonder. Also done with our beautiful hand-dyed, naturally dyed skein. It's very delicate. Do you remember what you called this one?
No.
Me neither.
And I think that I need to test knit that one again.
You think so?
I think so.
Ooh, so if anyone's interested in being a test knitter, reach out to us.
That would be interesting if somebody wanted to test knit this.
I'm going to look up the pattern. I know I have designs in a folder here on my desktop. Natural Ewe patterns and designs. And I'll just go through it. It is...
I have no idea. I did it years ago.
I know. I forget what you called it.
I have things that I've knit that I meant to write patterns for that are just...
Breeze's shawl. You called it...
Oh, yes, because they're the long... You carry slip stitch for more than just 2 rows. It's quite a long slip.
Why don't we hold it a little closer for the texture?
Like the yarn blowing in the wind, in the breeze.
Are you able to see that? And then the eyelet section over here.
It also has slip stitches on that side.
Yeah, it does. But it's a little harder to notice because the eyelets. I mean, it's not. There's wonderful texture to it. But I think from holding it up just for them to see. So again, another one skein. And it's just, you know, a little something that you pop around your neck.
Perfect. If you're gonna go for a walk at the beach and you're taking a denim jacket, you can put that on underneath.
Mm-hmm.
What a look.
I know. It would look fantastic. So that one is not available on Ravelry or our website because you wanted another test knit.
I think it needs
you think there was a glitch in the pattern that you can't recall where it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if anyone's interested in test knitting, send us a DM or an email. There's a contact us submission form on our website. You have the
pattern there?
Yep.
Okay, good.
I do.
So next week we're going to have fun at the waterfront and at Worldwide Knit and Public Day. There'll be some games. Mm-hmm. There'll be the yarn bombing of our bike.
Well, the knitting of the yarn bombing will take place at the waterfront, but the bike is currently attached to
the garage.
Yeah, so
and it doesn't have a kickstand, so that'll have to be done here. Mm-hmm. But we have just gotten ourselves a little table and chair set to have out front, so that if you want to come and sit and knit for a little while, we've got a spot for you.
A little bistro set.
Yep. So if you need some help with a project, or if you just want to socialize for a while because you've traveled a ways to get here.
Or, you know, your husband joined you, but you left him out in the car.
You can actually sit.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about remembering to crack a window. Anyway. Oh, there's also a little storeroom here off of the hallway entrance that we use it was the storeroom, and we've sort of been dismantling it to paint and fix it with a wingback chair and some other
little doodads,
little accessories.
We haven't
and furniture,
gotten to it. We just haven't.
But we will, so that over the next couple weeks, if the weather isn't great, people can sit inside to get their help with their knitting project.
Well, and we do have chairs around the big table here, so we can do that no matter what the weather. But it'll be nice to be able to sit outside.
Yes, Karen. The bistro set is in case you need to escape your kids for an hour.
There you go.
I got it in the most beautiful, so you know they're always black. I got it in the most beautiful shade of
It's kind
mint,
of like the color of the chair
kind of like what we're sitting on now. This beautiful chair. Can you see it? And so the whole thing's a bit
like
whimsical.
a mint green kind of a color. Mint julep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So.
There we have a matching soak fragrance for that.
Mint.
We do.
Is it called mint julep?
No, it's called wild mint.
Oh, okay. I can't remember all the names for the soak, but they're very interesting. And
I can. Well, because I love them so much.
Right. So go ahead.
There is Celebration. And if you want me to tell you what they smell like, though, I have to bring up the website because I can't remember the smells. But there's Celebration, there's Lace, there's
Lacy.
Lacy.
I remember that.
Fig, Pineapple Grove, Yuzu, and Wild Mint, and then Scentless.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And we used Pineapple Grove to wash that skein of your linen.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it smells nice. You have to it's not prominent. It's very subtle, but it's pleasant.
Oh, very nice. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the pineapple, it's beautiful.
Summery.
Yeah. And the fig, too. I couldn't decide what one I wanted to use. It was between fig.
I thought Celebration smelled nice.
Okay, but I can't remember what it smells like.
Me neither.
I'll have to bring it up. Well,
my tea smells good.
A description of all the different scents can be found under the item on our website, Soak, that I could run through them all. And let's see if I was right.
We have a search feature on this website, which is phenomenally wonderful.
Top right-hand corner, the little eyeglass looking glass. What is it? Magnifying glass. You click on that, you can search for just about anything, whether you search for it by yarn type or the name of the specific product. You can
like the color.
Mm-hmm.
It'll bring up the color.
So Celebration is essence of red tea, and it doesn't give much of a description. Essence of red tea, sweet, delicate, and absolutely delicious. Okay. Fig is fresh picked clean, ripened fig, and lychee, and crowned by dandelions. Ooh. Lacy combines spring blossoms with sweet bergamot, and Pineapple Grove, it also has a hint of a lily-filled crown, they say. Mm-hmm. And mint is spicy geranium with, I cut it off. I didn't finish the sentence. Oops.
You'll have to go get it.
With mint. It's a combination of flowers and mint, which is another type of flower. So there you go.
We have been very busy with flowers, by the way. The weather has because the weather changes here like crazy. I didn't feel comfortable planting some things until after the first moon in June, which was, I think, the 3rd. So it was just this week that I was willing to put in annual flowers like the marigolds. But we have, and I had started a whole bunch of seed plants inside, but you have to water them from the bottom. So I was shifting them around to put them in a flat that had water in the bottom and then putting them back on their home base to drain, and I shuffled them all and don't even really know which flowers are which necessarily. So we're going to have quite the garden and a mystery. It's a bit of a mystery what is blooming where.
Yeah. But so what?
It's going to be beautiful. Jasmine has planted more in, like we've been gradually putting more and more out in the garden. And then Jasmine came home with a flat of red geraniums just to put color in between all the other plants. And it's starting to look really nice out there. We've got some forget-me-nots that are blooming. The bleeding hearts are in blossom. So gradually things will change and we'll have more and more color out there. Come and have a look.
Well, we're hoping that over time our flower gardens can become part of the experience here. When you come to the shop, you can do sort of like a self-guided tour around the...
Once we figure out which plants are which, we will put little markers.
Exactly.
So that you too will know what we've planted.
All right. And I think that sort of wraps it up this time. We discussed everything from our fundraising efforts, our events, our limited edition specialty yarn, Everything is Love, which we're taking pre-orders for. We touched upon the upcoming knit along that's going to start in July. And the only thing we mentioned, the website and the app and the loyalty. The only thing we didn't touch on is that it's almost time for us to put out our advent calendar pre-orders.
And so there's another feature on the website. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you've checked out the website, but if you haven't, you need to go there and see it.
And I need it explained to me, actually, because Jasmine's been so busy working on things that she hasn't had a time to actually...
Okay, what do you want explained?
Tell me all about it, just while you tell the rest of the world.
Okay. Well, one of the many great features on our website is that we now have a subscription to this payment program called Afterpay, which means that when you click on an item and go to add it to your cart, it does tell you under the item name that you can pay for this item in 4 equal payments over 4 months of a set amount of dollars, which means that you don't have to pay up front for a big purchase like an advent calendar. You'll just be billed monthly. Again, 4 equal payments. And we receive the money right away, I think.
Yeah, that way we can actually...
Yeah, which means we can begin working on dyeing everything, and there's no lag or anything really. No issue whatsoever.
Scramble at the end to dye 25 different colors.
It's a little easier for us rather than us manually billing people, because we weren't able to do that before in the past.
Yeah,
website,
and
so
some people had asked, because an advent calendar and sometimes cardigan requires a significantly larger amount of yarn, and that sometimes is better to have spread over a number of months, because some things will take you that long to knit, right? So
what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's absolutely no fee for you, and it should not affect you whatsoever, except in a positive, good ways. And that way, if you're on a yarn diet, you can budget a little bit, but still not miss out on, say, an exclusive colorway that is going to be sold out very quickly.
And down the road, I think that because we do have such a range of colors, and some of them really do come out quite similar to one another, don't they? Like I can, like Lagoon and things like that. So, we can maybe down the road contemplate even doing pre-orders for some things. Yeah,
like custom dye orders. I know that certain dyers, like, is it the Blue Brick?
Yeah, Blue Brick.
Blue Brickish or Blue Brick?
I'm not sure.
She does wonderful gradients of color, but for the longest time, I think everything was custom dyed. So rather than...
And it's a longer process, like our process takes longer.
Right. Because it's a specialty yarn. And rather than have the item as sold out, she just continued to take sales, and then lag a little bit behind, I heard. But that would be the same thing. We'd be doing custom dye orders.
Right, and other artisans do the same thing. Potters and people that make specialty items will take pre-orders for things. So we may join those.
Well, yeah, because some colorways are just so popular.
Yeah.
And then people are always asking, are you going to have that one back in stock? Are you going to have that one back in stock?
So we're taking note, and we know which ones we may want to do that with.
Okay.
It probably won't be all of them.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's about it.
I think that wraps us up. We covered so much today. If you're still with us, thank you for watching. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a cloudy day. Go do some knitting.
Well, here in Nova Scotia, in Pictou County.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever it is, rain or shine.
Yeah, knit on the deck.
Go knit up a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Janie, who's already left us, and everyone else who is waiting for our Canadian farewell.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
For now, be natural.
Be you. Bye, guys.
Bye.